Good morning everyone, and welcome to another one of my little fishing adventures. Today we are exploring this pristine river system, and we're using a new lure. Today we're going to be testing out the new Nomad Live Ops switcher shrimps, and we've got a pretty unique challenge to do while we're fishing today. These can actually be rigged up 4 different ways, and the challenge throughout today is to catch a fish on every single way that you can rig this lure up. Should be a little bit of fun, and I'm super keen to get into the fishing today. I love exploring spots like this. I mean, it doesn't get much better. Super remote, surrounded by nature, just the way I like it. But let's get a closer look at the lures we're going to be using. So we have some larger ones, 3.5 inches. I think we might use these a little bit later on once we've ticked up a couple fish, but we'll start off using the 2.3 inch lures. So these are a small little profile, should get a bunch of bites using these. And as I said, they can be rigged up 4 ways. So you can rig it up normally, standard with a jig head. You can actually rig it up reverse. This is what I'm really keen to try out. You can rig it up reverse, has a really cool action, and then weedless the usual way and weedless reverse as well. So 4 different ways. We have this more kind of transparent color, but I think this one looks good to start off with. It's got some oranges through the head there, a bit of orange in the tail. I think we'll try this one out. Let's get a look-see. It's very little finesse profile. I like the look of it. So that's a little fella we'll try out. Hopefully those orange flakes stand out in this really dirty water. The water is extremely dirty. Had 150 mil of rain very recently, and everything is super dirtied up, but hey, sometimes the fish don't mind that. I need to select out the appropriate jig head for this little fella. So I want it fairly lightly weighted, but I also want to cover water relatively quickly to find the fish. So I think a 1/12 with a small hook might be good. That one there. That's a size 1 hook, 1/12 weight, and that should line up perfectly. If we have a look there, that jig head will come out around halfway down that prawn. So plenty of hook exposure, but still finesse enough to get those bites and make them stick. I reckon that's good. Get a quick look at that. I reckon that's rigged up pretty well perfectly. That's the right jig head for it, that size 1 hook with a 1/12 weight, and that looks really nice. I reckon that's going to catch a fish. And I'll quickly go through the combo I'm using before we get into it. So I've got a little 1 to 4 kilo rod, 1000 size reel with 10-pound braid and 15-pound leader. There are some big fish in here at times, so if we do hook up to that larger fish, I still want to give myself a chance to land it, especially if it runs back into the timber, and there's a lot of that around here. So perfect little lightweight combo. Let's get the first cast out of the morning. I don't know if you can see, but this is really dirty water, which we're working with, but a lot of timber and stuff along the bank. Good spot to start. Just going to flick that like a prawn, like a fleeing prawn, so let it sink to the bottom, and a couple of flicks with the rod tip, very natural. I should get some bites if there's fish around. The fish may be sitting a little bit deeper. There's probably going to be a bit of a layer of fresh on the top, so they might be sitting below that in that slightly more salty water. Yep, that didn't take long at all. That was only a couple casts and we've already got a fish. That's so cool. Right off that tree there. What is that going to be? Oh, is that a jack? I'm netting that. That is my first ever mangrove jack. You're kidding. That is my first ever mangrove jack. I've never caught one before. I've always wanted to catch a mangrove jack, and we've just got one like 3 casts into the morning. Far out. That is so cool. A mangrove jack. That is really cool. Mate, I thought that was a brim. That is so cool. It is not the biggest mangrove jack in the world, but that is my first ever Mangrove jack. What a beautiful little fish. Look at the tail on him. Wow, that's awesome. Look at the fangs on him. That prawn's right down that gob. I mean, that has to be good mojo when using a new lure. Mangrove jack straight away. That's so sick. First ever jack. Let's get that hook out of him. Get him going. See you, little fella. Thanks for coming. Whoa. Little prawn. 2.3 inch. It's a really tiny presentation, but he didn't mind it whatsoever. Jeez, if there's some bigger ones around, that would be epic. That would be really cool. Would probably get dusted on this little light setup. Oh, no doubt about it, we're going straight back over to that tree. It was actually just over there, that tree, which is in the water. That's where we got him. Could there be another one? Could there be another little jack sitting on that tree? I'm happy with that. Extremely happy, if you can't tell. Cast that over again. Flick it along. Maybe the dirty water helped the jack. Jack's come out, I don't know. Super cool. I mean, it wasn't very big, so it didn't go crazy hard like jacks are known for going, but I'm still gonna take that. It's a new species. Ticked off a new species today. Might even be worth throwing the bigger prawn around. Winter jack, boy. Try the left, right hand side of that snag. Another hit. There's definitely some life in there. That front of that tree, I've had a bunch of hits now. Yep. Stick. Don't think that's a fish, buddy. It's a stick. It's cool though. We've already ticked a fish off on one of the ways rigging it. Oh, there's fish to my left. Jeez, another hit. Far out, it's getting some action. Right. I'm always doing something stupid. Oh. Smooth, Nev, smooth. The fish was an ideal start, but I don't know about whatever just happened there. Casting into a tree and snapping off. Bit of nonsense. Right there. Something grabbed it right beneath the kayak. Little brim. Well, a brim is definitely one of the expected species to catch on this lure. Brim are obviously big fans of eating little shrimp and prawns, so it's an expected catch. Once again, a bit of a little fella, little tacker. All these big snags and stuff are suddenly very interesting for jacks. Kind of hoping to hook another one. Especially if there's one about and we got him that quickly, there could be more. Might be a good time to try the reversed rigging though. Get a new one out. So that's it there. That's really cool. So you put the hook through the head and you slot the jig head eyelet through the back there. There's a little slot you poke it through. That's cool. Let's see if it works. Oh, damn it, I messed that up. There we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened there, but I messed that up. We've got a decent fish. Hopefully everything's all good there. My bail arm like flipped over. Oh, it's a good flathead. It's a very good flathead. My bail arm like flipped over when I went to set the hook. Very nice little flathead. He just flicked himself off, but that was on the reverse rigging way. That was almost a disaster. We almost lost him in multiple ways. There he is there. Very nice flathead on the reverse rigged prawn. Oh, See you, buddy. Get him going. And there it is there, a little reverse rigged shrimp. Still got the bite. Still got a bite. It's a good sign. Didn't take long either. There seems to be a lot of life around this morning, which is good. You never know what to expect after you get a whole heap of dirty water. Could be really good, could be really bad, but it looks like today, or at least so far this morning's been good. Even the fact that there's just this life around is what I wanted to see. What I didn't want is to come here and just see no life at all. But still life here. Next style is the Weedless in reverse. So just rigged that Weedless at the front there. Got that reverse rigged. See if this one works. So far we've caught a fish on every one. Oh, 2 hits. Yep. Oh, fish right there on the reverse. That's a flathead, reverse weedless. Now we've only got one more style to rig this lure up to go. Cool. Honestly didn't have that rigged up ideally either. You'd probably use a smaller hook and a lighter weight. See you, buddy. That looks good enough. Kind of DIYing it with just a standard jig head. Ideally you would have a weedless jig head so you can loop it through the nose there and come out down near the body, but should work with a standard jig head. That looks good enough. Gonna cast that around some of this timber along here. Looks like a really good stretch to use the weedless, so should be perfect. Should be perfect. Start off around that tree and just top it along. If we can catch a fish with it rigged up like this, then we will have caught a fish on the 4 ways to rig it up. Definitely the preferred one, oh, that was a hit I think. The preferred one so far this morning is the standard rigging, I reckon. I just don't have the right jig heads in the right areas to use the reverse really. I think for now we might bail on the weedless rigging. I just don't have the right jig heads to make it work properly, so it's really hard to fish. It keeps twisting over. Typically you would have a weedless hook, dedicated weedless hook, and you'd be able to rig them up really well on those. But I think we'll go back to the standard rigging, but we'll change the color. We'll try this one out. This is Pink Swagger. That looks really good. Pink one. And then after we use this one for a little bit, we might actually use the 3.5 inch. See if we can get some fish on the bigger profile. But for now, we'll try that out. That looks good. Looks really good. Well, after those first initial fish we caught, it's definitely quiet. It's really quiet out here, but keep on trucking along. Might try out the bigger prawn. Give that bad boy a go. See if there's anything which wants a bigger prawn. Bigger flathead maybe. You're kidding. First cast with the bigger lure. We got a flathead. That was surprising. First cast with the bigger lure. Flathead. He's been lassoed. There he goes. Maybe some of the fish down there just want a slightly bigger profile. That's a 3.5 inch one there. Maybe that's the case. Alright, I think that's going to do us. We've spent a fair few hours on the water now and it's been really slow going. I think all that fresh water which is washing out of the system has really shut the fish down, but we still got onto some. We caught a couple brim, a mangrove jack, my first ever jack, so that was cool, and a couple flathead as well. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more exactly like it, be sure to give this one a like, comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one.